It's so inspiring because there's so many of those wonderful qualities that your parents have imbued in you, like working hard and just that sincere appreciation and doing whatever it takes. And clearly that's some of the more beautiful things that I see about you, Andy. And quite apart from that, you've also learned to make things even better. And I think you remember one of the things that we learned with Tony was that we can either be an example, or we can either be I don't know, an inspiration in the lives of other people. And I think it's the key moments of the decisions that you took, right? The lessons that you took from it and the positive lessons has led you to where you are today. From all of that, there would have been a point in your life where you made that decision to start teaching and passing on all this wonderful stuff you've learned onto others. When did that happen?
It's funny. We had this chat, Dom, and for you, it was a moment at an event where you looked up and you saw that person and you said, that's what I'm going to be doing, right? My very first ever mentor, after reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I watched a DVD of a guy named Jamie McIntyre in Australia, and great guy who, for me, like, he's now got political aspirations, and I really hope he does that in Australia because he tells it how it is. And I read his book then after watching this DVD. It was what I wish I'd learned at school but didn't, something along those lines, right? And then I went and I watched bought like his DVD home study pack. Back then, you put the DVDs in, which was quite expensive, in monetary terms of watching. I'm watching his DVDs, and I just saw him teaching. He's very natural. He's a great communicator. He was funny and very genuine in everything he shared. And then I went and did a live event with him, and he spoke about Tony Robbins. That's how I then ended up on the Tony Robbins path and journey, because he had obviously done a lot of Tony Robbins work as well. And so from that, I just remember seeing him, and he had a red Ferrari, right? He had the life, I guess, I looked at, and I'm like, wow, you look at others, and I guess sometimes I'll show you the way. And he was a big inspiration in that light. And I'll tie that in a while, Dom, because it's fascinating how this all ties in. But, I was like 19 or 20 when I first watched his stuff. And I remember watching it then thinking, I would love to do that. Like, I would love to be helping people, and then feeling this need, well, I'm going to have to go and, get stuff in order and show how it's done before I can do that. And so what's really cool, how it all ties in, mate, is that was ironically at about 19, 20 doing that program. And, I went through this whole journey of personal development and everything. Sort of, you sort of outgrow people in a way. I've learned so much from there, and I've moved on to Tony Robbins stuff, Jim Rohn stuff. Like, I just took on everything. For me, when I was in business, I was super busy, Dom, for years, as you can tell, super stressed, super everything. But I would have a holiday every year, but it was never a holiday. My time away was to go to a personal development seminar. I would travel, US or wherever. I would travel to go and do personal development. That was my time off. So it was really cool. I went on that whole journey, and what was amazing, at 29, I'd sort of, the Ferrari had happened, and the mechanic business, it was wonderful, but I just had enough. I'd outgrown it. I really felt like, I'd stepped into my own, and therefore I'm still here doing this thing. It was like my identity had shifted as to how I perceived myself and the value and my worth to the world. And so it was an ironic morning. I was 29 at the time, and I got an email, which I don't even know how this email ended up in my inbox. I have no idea to this day. And it was from, Jamie McIntyre. I hadn't done any of his programs and stuff in years, right? And I got this thing that said, come and learn to be a coach. Like, it was this thing, right? 30 grand, 12-month program, NLP certification, or 2 years the program was, and NLP, learning all these skills and tools, and plus I'll personally mentor you as well. So it was Craig Jervis and Jamie McIntyre, these two guys put this program out. Dom, those moments of decision, like you said, it was in that moment that I just looked and I said, this is it. Bang. Like, literally, Dom, financially I was in a very good place, right? And I looked at it and I just said, this is it. And I remember it was quite funny. They had all the payment plans and stuff, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm committed. I went to the bank that day, transferred 30K for something I didn't even really know what it was. I just sensed there was something in it, to learn to be a speaker and a coach, right? And I signed up to it. And I remember speaking to Craig, the guy, right? Craig rings. He's like, "Oh, welcome aboard, everything. So, did you choose a payment plan and, we'll get things underway?" I said, "No, it's all done. Like, transferred." And I was like this, huh? Like, I haven't explained what it is yet. No, don't worry about it. I'm ready to go. And it was it. I launched into that, and, it was about probably 20 of us in that first batch of coaches. And,
Wow.
once again, that achiever, that competitive edge was like, I'll get to the head of the class. And that was it. I saw this vision. Once again, no coincidences in life. Here I am now with this email, and made the decision and committed, and that was it. And that journey then led me to moving to the Gold Coast and working in an organization along Craig and these giants in the industry, about coaching and about speaking. So I just threw myself in, sold the mechanic business, and left a Ferrari, everything in Perth, left the business there running, and moved and went for it. And that was it. 2009, that was 10 years ago. Can you believe?
Truly amazing. Truly amazing. What an amazing and inspiring story, my friend.
It's amazing though. I think back and I'm like, wow, geez, I haven't considered that in a while. It literally was burning the boat. 2009, I'm like, everything's there, but this is it. I'm going for it. Literally. Wow.
You inspire me just by having a dream and saying yes to it because it feels right. You're such a person that's so much into your intuition and your sense, and I think that you have this innate goodness in you of wanting to make a positive difference to people around you, and that's a gift that's so hard to teach people, and that's what we. I've seen you in action and the people and the lives that you've touched, and that's such a great gift that you have.